Hi everyone. The meta has been pretty figured out now on the Necromancer. I fully updated my planner. You have the starter build that you use when you reach level 60 and you wanna go from T1 to T4. You have the speed farming variant that you use if you wanna like level up in the pits, farm low pits like 110, 120, maybe 130, you will use this. And you have the pit pushing one. If you don't have like very good gear, you can use this one. And you have the final one, the best setup that almost everyone use now, for pushing the pits as fast as you can. What variant to choose if you just wanna push pits 150? Well, it depends. This video gonna focus on this one, final pits 150 setup, because many people still wants to clear 150, and I'm gonna do a full breakdown of this build to help you to achieve your goal to clear pits 150. In this video, I'm gonna answer many questions that people has been asking me, such as how do I reset my cooldown without Fastblood? Why I deal no damage? Can I do pits 150 without Fastblood? And yeah, we'll try to answer everything in this video. This video will be divided in several sections. Feel free to jump to the section you're interested in. But first of all, we're gonna watch my clear. It took me 4 minutes and 13 seconds to do this clear. I will comment my clear and give you some tips in the video that might help you for your clear. This is the showcase video. So in this patch recently, the Necromancer has been fixed. Previously, Bloodwave, when you had too many monsters, the Bloodwave would bug and deal no damage, but that has been fixed. That's why I'm putting so many monsters right here. Also, Force of Will has been fixed. It's a Witchcraft gem. I will have a section about the Witchcraft power. I will explain what has been fixed, but basically you just deal a lot more damage. As you can see here, the Bloodwave doesn't bug, it just deals damage. So this is like huge buff. We have too little fix, and that is just straight up a buff for us. 2 fix result in a big buff for us. But yeah, if you pull many monsters together, you're gonna clear obviously faster. And also do that in the beginning because of Soul Harvest. I will talk about Soul Harvest a little bit later in the video. It's not very important because I think they're gonna fix it. Soul Harvest, the intelligence stack is bugged, but in our disadvantage for the moment, unfortunately. It's very annoying to do, but hopefully it's gonna get a fix very soon. And that's gonna be another buff for us. This setup doesn't use Fastblood, by the way. I'm resetting my cooldown with Decrepify. I will talk about this a little bit later. Here I'm pulling monster with Decompose here. If you have a wide open map, like here, you can pull monster together and pack them to kill them faster. Obviously, you wanna have an open map. This map is not very good as a second map, unfortunately. You're gonna have an open map because if you cast your Bloodwave and there are walls around you, they're gonna eat the Bloodwave, the blood orbs. You will have less blood orb to pick up, and you will have a chance to fail stacking up your 15 stack to Overpower. Always try to kill the damage reduction guy in priority when you pull many enemies together. Try to be on him and cast your Bloodwave so he dies first. See, I got a shrine here, buff my attack speed. Still pulling more and more enemies. I think I will try to get the Gear guy here, yeah, in the middle. Always try to pull them because otherwise the other monster don't die, so try to get them inside. On the monster, what you want to have is melee monster that follows you, like the wolf. And here on the boss, this boss is pretty good, but many people ask me how I reset my Bloodwave on the boss, and the answer is we don't. Like, everyone is waiting for the Bloodwave. As you can see here, the Bloodwave is not resetting. Like, keep in mind that you won't be able to cast Bloodwave like if you had Fastblood. Like, I have to wait every time to cast it again. And it reset because of Decompose that I cast with Alkinsu, with the lucky hit chance on Decrepify, but we only rely on that. And when boss have minions around you, you have more lucky hit chance to reset your Bloodwave cooldown. But otherwise, you have to wait. You wanna stack every buff that you can. You wanna cast Blight, you wanna cast Decompose, not Decompose, Corpse Explosion 5 times to have Flesh Eater to deal as much damage as you possibly can. That's a bit tricky, but we can talk about that in the skill rotation section. So, which variant should you choose if you wanna do 150 between the final Pits 150 setup and pit pushing? Well, the answer is pretty simple. If you don't have enough damage, you will pick the pit pushing setup. The only difference between the two setups mostly is that on the boots, you're gonna use Exploiter here. When the elites and the monster become unstoppable, they're gonna take 45% more damage, and you're also gonna use Zan and Watts. What's gonna allow you to execute elites, and Exploiter also gonna help you to deal more damage, because if you don't deal enough damage, the enemies usually don't die before they become unstoppable, and they are unstoppable for a bit, so you benefit a lot from Exploiters. How do you know if you deal enough damage or not? Well, in example here, the elites, basically they become unstoppable after 5 seconds of crowd control. They become crowd control when you place Bloodwave, because Bloodwave apply crowd control and they become unstoppable. Unstoppable means that they can move freely and they are not crowd controlled by your Bloodwave anymore. Like here, this one is unstoppable. You're gonna take more damage from Exploiters. If you struggle a lot and the elites don't die fast enough, they become unstoppable, so you're gonna use the other setup. If you can kill the monster fast enough, you will use the pit pushing 150 final version. Otherwise, you can use this one. You will have Exploiters to deal more damage, and you will also have the Rune to execute them. So, how do I reset my Bloodwave cooldown without Fastblood? That's the question that everyone has been asking. The answer is pretty simple. On the trash monster, when there are many monsters, it's pretty easily to reset your Bloodwave, because you're using Decrepify here with this upgrade, and you have 15% chance to reduce your active cooldown by 1 second. Casting Bloodwave will naturally reset it, as you can see here, because you have the aura on the boots here, the enemies are cursed with Decrepify, then you have the lucky hit chance to reset your cooldown here. Pretty simple. And on the boss, the answer is you don't really reset your cooldown. On single targets, it's very hard, because your lucky hit chance is only on one target. As you can see here, it doesn't really reset, and if you watch any clear, top clear on the leaderboard, if it's a boss without adds minions around the boss, and if it's single target, it's very hard. We all have to wait for our Bloodwave. What we are trying is spamming here Corpse Explosion and hoping that the lucky hit chance of your Decrepify gonna make it, but sometimes we can't. You just have to wait and pressing Corpse Explosion, trying to proc your Decrepify. So don't panic on the boss if you don't have perma Bloodwave. It's totally normal. If you're short on your damage and you can't make it, you might have to fish a little bit for a boss with minions, because if the boss have minion, it becomes a lot easier to reset your Bloodwave. But yeah, that's basically how you reset your Bloodwave cooldown. If you count on single target, it's normal, you're not doing anything wrong. It's the same for everyone. Also, if you're using the other setup with Exploiter and boots, you won't have this aura around you. So the thing is, with Zan and Watts, I have Zan Watt here. When you cast your ultimate, it's gonna cast your Decrepify, but the thing is, it's gonna cast Decrepify where your mouse is. Like for example, I cast it here, you see, the Decrepify is here. So you have to pay attention, like my cooldown did not reset here because my Decrepify was here. I don't know how it works on controller, but on computer, mouse and keyboard, you have to cast the Bloodwave, you have to put your mouse on yourself here, and it's gonna reset your cooldown. That's a little detail, but it's very important detail. Like here, cats here, the Creepify is here. Doesn't work. I mean, it worked because the target was still cursed, but be very careful to cast your Bloodwave on yourself with your mouse if you use the setup with exploiters. Can I clear T150 with Fastblood? The short answer is yes, you can if you have good gear. Because if you switch out Vehement Brawler for Fastblood, you will lose a lot of damage, so you will need pretty good gear to compensate that. I would recommend you to use the pit pushing variant, because you're gonna try to compensate the damage loss with exploiter aspect on the boots, and you will also have Watt runes that gonna allow you to execute blitz and try to compensate the damage. But yeah, the short answer is yes, you can do it with Fastblood, but you will need very good gear, because if you use Fastblood without this offensive aspect, you're losing a lot of damage. Next question is why attack speed? Why do we want attack speed on our ring, for example? Well, the answer is pretty simple. As I said on the boss, you are going to struggle a lot with resetting your Bloodwave, and with more attack speed, you will be allowed to cast Corpse Explosion faster. If you can cast it faster, you can reset Bloodwave faster with the lucky hit chance. That's it. And it also makes the run smoother. When there are many monsters around you, you cast a Bloodwave, you can cast more Corpse Explosion in order to proc where is it? Flesh Eater? Flesh Eater here, you have to cast it 5 times. If you have more attack speed, it's a lot smoother and you can cast it 5 times a lot faster. That's why we use attack speed on the ring. Why do we want to use damage while fortified instead of overpower damage? Many people ask me this question because overpower damage temper has higher value, I think. The question is very simple. Damage while fortified, when you have 5 rank in Bloodwave, as you see here. At 5 rank, Bloodwave damage is increased by 30% of your damage while healthy and while fortified bonuses. It means that damage while fortified is additive damage by itself, but it's also multiplicative damage to your Bloodwave here. The current bonus is 622. That's why you wanna temper damage while fortified, because it's straight up multiplicative bonus, and that's why we don't use overpower damage. Why I didn't know damage? Well, the common mistake that I see is people don't have 15 stacks, so they don't overpower. What I do to see if I fail or not is I only enable overpower damage. It means I only see orange number. It means that when I succeed, I will see orange number here. But if I don't have 15 stack, I won't overpower and I won't see any numbers. That means I don't have 15 stack. That's the first most common mistakes. The second one is you don't cast your Bloodwave with Cax. Yeah, I have the Cax proc. I'm gonna deal 100% more damage with Overpower. Then the next one is you don't have Flesh Eater. Yeah, you have to cast Corpse Explosion 5 times. This is the icon, this is 1 stack, have 2, 3, 4, and you press Corpse Explosion 1 more time at 5, and you will have the buff here. I have the buff, I have Overpower, I have Cax. This is doing maximum damage. And the last one, not very important, but you can also have a Blight. Like let's say you cast a Blight here, you deal 20% more damage, you get your Cax Rune, get your Corpse Explosion to 5, you have Overpower, you have everything. You cast the Bloodwave, that's maximum damage with Blights. How the Cax Rune and how do you maximize your damage with Cax and Igni Rune? So right here I've been standing doing nothing. It means that my Igni Runes is charging my Cax here, and Igni says when you press a non-basic skill, it's gonna give you all the offering. So if I press Corpse Explosion, Blight, or whatever, Seaver, or one of these 3 spells, is gonna fill up the bar here. So let's press Corpse Explosion. I have the buff here, right? I have the Cax Rune, and when I press again, it's still charging. Like as you can see, if I still pressing, it's charging the Cax Rune. I have the buff here. So I press my Bloodwave, and when I press my Bloodwave, it was still charging the Cax Rune. So ideally, what you wanna do before pressing your Bloodwave is pressing Corpse Explosion or Blight or Seaver. Then you have the buff. Then you press your Bloodwave. You can press Blight, then you press your Bloodwave, but be very careful when you have your Cax up. If you press Blight, if you press Rip, it can eat your Cax. Like, press Blight, and Blight gonna benefit from Cax. So you have to be very careful when you have the Cax up to press the Bloodwave. When you have this icon up, you press your Bloodwave no matter what. Then it's up again, you press Blight and follow up by Bloodwave, still charging, and that's how you play around. Like let's see here, you won't press a Bloodwave because it's almost fully charged. What you wanna do here is press Corpse Explosion followed by Bloodwave. That way you have more damage. You can also run around a bit and trying to charge your Cax because it's 100% more damage. Sometimes it's worse to wait a little bit, picking up the orb and charging up. Like here you can press, but you just wait a bit, press Corpse Explosion to proc your Cax and to deal 100% more damage. That's how you play around Cax. There is a very annoying bug going on right now with Soul Harvest. When you cast a cooldown, for each enemy around you, you're gonna gain 1% of intelligence. So here, let's say I have one enemy, I think, 3800 intelligence. I'm gonna press once, or let's say I have 2 enemy in the aura here. So I get 2%, right? But the problem, there is a bug that makes this number will stay forever. Yeah, even if there are 5 targets, my intelligence doesn't go up. That's a bug on Soul Harvest that's gonna be fixed, but for the moment on the leaderboard you see many people pulling as many monsters as possible before they cast Bloodwave, so they can have for maximum 64 stack, 64% of intelligence. That should be fixed. It's a bug at our disadvantage, but it should be fixed very soon. And yeah, just a little trick to know if you wanna complete Pits 150 now, it can help. I will talk quickly about what are the best monster and best map to get to be able to do 150. So about the map, you don't want a very little map with a small corridor because first of all, when you cast your Bloodwave, when there are walls, it's gonna eat your Blood Orb. The Blood Orb not gonna spawn if you cast your Bloodwave and there is a wall like here. As you can see, not many Blood Orbs on. That's a big problem, so you want to have very wide open map. The map that I had on my showcase, the first floor was very good. There is also the Red Temple. There is the new map with the DLC where it's very huge. Spawn the boss just on the first floor. And yeah, basically you want open wide map, you want elite monster to be melee, like the wolf. When they are melee, they're gonna follow you. When you have range elites, like the elites that look like spirit color, they are not going to follow you. When they become unstoppable, they just run around and they are very annoying. But I think you can still deal with it. The only monster type that you really don't want are the knights, because when they have the shields up, you deal no damage to them at all, like it's impossible. For the boss, the best boss to have, I think, on Necromancer is probably Sea Hag. Sea Hag is spawning a lot of minions around you, and that's gonna help you to constantly reset your Bloodwave. The boss that I kill on my showcase is also pretty good. Ramble is also pretty good, even he doesn't spawn ads because he is not tanky at all. You can literally destroy him. The boss that you have to avoid are probably Blood Bishop, Mother Judgment, and any boss that don't spawn monsters. So for the skill rotation, you wanna press as many Bloodwave as you can with as many buffs as you can possibly have. Like you press your Bloodwave, when you're picking up your Blood Orb, you're gonna try to proc your Flesh Eater from the Paragon here. These nodes are gonna give you more damage. This is the buff. At 5 you have the buff here, you wanna have the light here. You also wanna have your Cax Rune up. Right here, the Cax Rune is the yellow thing. The yellow buff here, but yeah. You wanna pick up the Blood Orb in priority, and you wanna cast as many Blood Wave as possible, and during picking up your Blood Orb, you wanna cast some Corpse Explosion in order to stack your Flesh Eater. When you have the occasion like here, you also wanna throw some Blight to have 20% more damage. And yeah, keep in mind that you just wanna spam as many Blood Wave as possible with 15 stack to Overpower and with Cax, and if you can with Blight on the ground. I will now go over my gear and tell you what are the GA that you need, what are the best Masterworking, and what are the best temper. First of all, you want to have Air of Perdition. This is 60% more damage. You also have a lot of critical strike chance. Very important to get GA critical strike chance. That's going to allow you to have 100% critical strike chance here. You want to have 100% critical strike chance, very important for your damage, but keep in mind that outside the town you also have 16% critical strike chance that I have here because I'm in the training room. So in if you're in town, it's 100 minus 16% crit that you have. To be able to cap your crit at 100%, I do think you need Air of Perdition GA on critical strike chance. If you don't, I'm not sure if you can have 100%. But so, if you have a GA on Air of Perdition critical strike chance and you Masterwork it 3 times, you won't need a GA on the glove. But if you have a GA here and you Masterwork 2 times, you probably need the GA on your glove. You have to check yourself, like your personal setup, and to reach 100% critical strike chance, this is the most optimized one, having a GA and triple Masterwork on the critical strike chance. On the gem you want to have Intelligence. For Shroud of False Death, very best in slot for Necro, give you +1 to all your passive. You want to have GA on your Maximum Life. Maximum Life is very important because it gives you toughness. It's also scale your damage with Overpower, and you always Overpower with your Bloodwave, so it gives you toughness and it gives you more damage. Overpower damage here, as you can see. It says that it's based on your current life, so it means if you have more maximum life, you're gonna deal more damage. You wanna Masterwork everything on maximum life. If you don't have G on max life, all stats is also fine. You can Masterwork 2 times life, 1 time all stats. Like you don't have to Masterwork 3 times, it's just the most optimized one. On your glove, you wanna have critical strike chance GA. It depends if you can cap at 100% crit or not. Sometimes you won't need critical strike chance. You wanna have life, intelligence, and Masterwork everything in maximum life. It can also go to damage while fortified. It depends on your setup, but you don't have to overthink about that. It doesn't really make a huge difference if you Masterwork damage while fortifies or maximum life. On the temper, you wanna have Stun or Freeze. That's gonna help you to deal more damage. We're gonna see that in the skill tree a little bit later, but you wanna Masterwork Stun or Freeze, and damage will fortify, because damage will fortify instead of overpower scales with your ultimate damage multiplicatively. On the aspect, you want to have ultimate shadow. Ultimate shadow gonna give you the shadow tag here. Like as you can see here, you don't have the shadow tag. When you put that aspect, your Bloodwave gonna have darkness tag, and darkness tag gonna allow you to have a lot of passive bonus from your skill tree. The aspect, that's why we use that aspect. It doesn't have to be maximum. It's just to have the darkness tag on your Bloodwave to benefit from your passive here. That's gonna buff your damage. On the pens, you wanna have true GA. If you can't, I would say chance for Bloodwave to deal double damage is the most important one. You wanna masterwork everything on it. It's the most important. That's gonna buff your damage by a lot. The legendary aspect is also very important. Try to get it as close as maximum as possible. That's gonna help a lot on the boss and during the trash clear. You also get on the implicit Bloodwave fortify you 85% of your max life. That's very good for the Necromancer and for your toughness, so you can't play the build without these pens basically. On the boots, you wanna get intelligence, maximum life, armor, you wanna temper movement speed, and on this setup you don't need curse size because curse doesn't work with this aspect. You can get freeze or stun like on the glove. I don't have it, but it's not a big deal in the end. It's like just a very small optimization. You wanna get freeze or stun. On the masterwork, you wanna get everything on maximum life. On the weapon, you wanna have intelligence, maximum life, and lucky hit chance to restore your resource, because the tooltip doesn't say it, but when you have Cax and you cast it with 100% of your essence, it's gonna deal more damage. That's why we need lucky hit chance to restore primary resource. You wanna have damage well fortified, because it's a lot of damage, and you wanna have Titan's Fall, because this is the most damaging setup that's gonna help you kill elite faster. And yeah, you wanna masterwork everything on it and temper it. On the aspects for the boots, you wanna have the aura, because the rune that we use on the pants, we are using the life runes. We don't need the what rune anymore to use the Decrepify, because you have the aura on the boots. So that's allow you to use our life rune. If you have more life, you're gonna have more damage with your Overpower. And on the weapon, you wanna have the aspect Tidal. That's gonna make your wave come from side to side to the middle. That's gonna also deal a lot more damage. And the Igni Cax that I explained earlier. On your amulet, you wanna have GA Intelligence, Flawless Blood, and Tide of Blood. If you can't have everything, it's very hard to get the amulet. Try to get at least 2. Priority to GA Intelligence. You wanna temper damage while fortify and ultimate cooldown reduction. You wanna masterwork a mix between Cold's Blood and Tide of Blood. It doesn't really matter. Try to get 2 in one of the passive and the last one in the other one. It's not big deal. On the aspect, you wanna use sacrifice, sacrificial. That's gonna buff your Book of the Dead. Yeah, that's gonna buff the damage by a lot. On the rings, you wanna get intelligence, maximum life, lucky hit chance to apply vulnerable. You don't need to have GA on the lucky hit chance to make enemy vulnerable. You wanna temper damage while fortify and ultimate cooldown. For the masterworking, you can have a mix between ultimate cooldown and maximum life or damage while fortify. Ultimate cooldown is just for the boss. It doesn't help too much on the trash clear. But yeah, I would recommend at least to have your cooldown around 12 or 13 seconds. And you can masterwork something else if you want more damage. On the aspect, you use Vehement Brawlers to have more damage. The second ring, you wanna have intelligence, maximum life attack speed, you wanna temper damage while fortified, ultimate cooldown reduction, and on the aspects, you wanna use the damned one that's gonna give you more damage, shadow damage to curse enemy. You always curse your enemy with the aura on your and your Bloodwave has the darkness tag, so this is just straight up more damage. For the skill tree, 1 point in Decompose, 1 point in Rip to have them on skill bar because of Reaper's Pursuit. If you have a darkness skill on your action bar, that's gonna give you and more damage, so Decompose, Rip, and Sever are here just because of Reaper's Pursuit basically. I don't have point in Sever because Air of Perdition is giving you +3 to core skill. We have point in Hair of Flesh that's gonna spam some corpse, so you can use Corpse Explosion to proc the lucky hit chance on. Have Blight here, enemy inside your Blight is gonna take 20% more damage. Have Corpse Explosion. This one's gonna give you more damage when you cast a Corpse Explosion, that's why it's very important to cast Corpse Explosion from time to time. This is like some defensive note. This one is defensive against the elite. Have Decrepify here, that's allow you to reduce the cooldown of a Bloodwave. This one is more damage. I got this lucky hit chance, it's not very useful, but it still helps because I remove the points from Blood Mist to here. Also, we don't use Corpse Tendril anymore. I put point in Gripping Darkness because it's gonna stun longer. That's gonna help you stagger a little bit faster. It also helps with Terror, that's gonna deal more damage when enemy are stunned or frozen. That's why you want to temper on your glove and on your boots to deal damage. Here you got Core's Blood for more damage, Tide of Blood here. You got your ultimate blood here. It is giving you more damage, and yeah, you just have a lot of damage node everywhere. This is the critical strike one, and the most important one, Atma's Vigor, that allow you to constantly overpower with your Bloodwave. Skill bar is here. We only use Light, Corpse Explosion, and Bloodwave. Those Decompose, Rip, and Sever are here. For Reaper's Pursuit, as said earlier. For the Witchcraft, we will use Voice of the Star. Voice of the Star gonna transfer your Bloodwave into an Eldritch, and it's also gonna give you 10% more damage. We're gonna use Friend of the Bog, that is gonna give you intelligence, maximum life, and make you unhindered. And Wicked Pack, that's gonna buff your Eldritch power. We use the cycle here to have 3 growth and decay to be able to use our Friend of the Bog rune, because you need to have at least 3 or more growth and decay power. Also, having flower is pretty nice because you always run around and sometimes you're losing life and you will pick up the flower without like focusing on it, so it's pretty nice to have. We will use Force of Will. Every time you kill your enemies, your 2 next Overpower are gonna deal 6% increased damage up to 100%. That was not working, but since the patch it's working as intended and it's straight up a lot of damage. If you are not using it and you're still using Brave the Coven, use it and you will feel a big difference. Purging Touch is gonna buff your ultimate by 40%, thanks to Voice of the Star that make your Bloodwave into an Eldritch. And also the other gems that buff it, it was 40, now it's 48%. You have Aura Specialization, that's gonna buff your damage. Your critical strike, you always overpower, and critical strike damage, that's gonna buff the damage of it. Soul Harvest, very important to get your intelligence up. I have here 3800 intelligence. With a good snapshot, it can go up to 5900 intelligence, I think. Maybe 6000 or the Necromancer on the leaderboard, I don't know. It depends on your game. Very important with craft power here. And the last one, aura siphoning, because you need an aura to use aura of specialization for it. And yeah, you also need to have an aura active for your ultimate skill. Consider as Eldritch, Growth and Decay, and Psyche. On the Mercenary, I use Subo. Subo is very useful because he's gonna reveal your enemy on your minimap. The enemy gonna become little orange dots, and that way you know where your enemy are. It's very useful when you're trying to push the pits and pull as many enemy as you can. You can cast a Decompose on them to pull them. If you see the enemy here, you just going here and pull them with Decompose again. If there are no enemy here, you're not gonna waste your time, you're just going the other side and pull other enemy. So Subo very useful for that, but also Subo gonna give you 25% more damage for 4 seconds with his opening fire. And the second one is Alkin. We use Flame Surge in with Cop Explosion. Why? Because Flame Surge works with your Decrepify here. That's gonna reduce your cooldown. So when you cast a Cop Explosion and Alkin appear to use Flame Surge, that's gonna help you on the boss to reduce your cooldown of your Bloodwave, because it has a lucky hit chance to proc your Decrepify and reset your cooldown. That's why we are using Alkins. On the potion, I use the life potion because your damage scale of your life. Use Intelligence Incense, the life one, and Surging Spice to cap your armor. The armor cap is 1001, and here you can see we are capped with 30k life. On the Paragon board, we are trying to get it as offensive as possible, because on the Necromancer we are very tanky. We have 30k life, we are always fortified, we always have our shield up, so the Paragon board is as offensive as possible. On the first board, we're going to have Essence. The second board is gonna be Blood Budget Bloods. That's gonna give you more damage. We use Sacrificial. That's also buff your damage while healthy. Damage while healthy gonna buff directly your Bloodwave here. The third board is gonna be Bloodbath. That's gonna buff your Overpower, and you always overpower thanks to Ratsmat's Vigors. On the glyph gonna be Abyssal, also give you more damage while fortified, that's gonna buff your Bloodwave. Here we got Flesh Eater. Flesh Eater is very important because we cast a lot of Corp Explosion, and when you consume 5 corps, that's gonna give you another 40% increased damage for 6 seconds. On the glyph we use Dominates to have more overpower damage, and this one, the last boss, is gonna be Frailty with Inviver. That's gonna give you damage while healthy, that also buff your Bloodwave directly, and your enemy are always cursed thanks to the aura on your boots. So that's it for the Paragon. I also wanted to show for people that don't have enough level on the Paragon board to have every point. You can take the Paragon on the starter build, is the same, but it just takes the nodes, like the very important nodes for more damage. So if you don't have enough points, you can just take this Paragon board, and as soon as you level up, you can take the boards here and complete the other node. But this Paragon is very useful if you are not very high level in Paragon. So that's it for me today. I hope this video was very useful and you find the answer of all your questions. I hope this also gonna help you to clear 150. Let me know in the comment section if you can clear 150 and if it was useful. If you like my content, don't forget to leave me a like, comment and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It helps me a lot. And I will see you next time for another video.